all right. Here we are. Here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check live beat review show right here on YouTube. Guys, can you believe it is 2026 already? We started the show in 2025, been here consistently each and every week. Now we're in 2026. Can you believe it, man? It's crazy how time flies, but we are here and we are grateful to be here amongst each other. I want to give a special thank you to all the producers who've submitted their beats for this week, starting the year off strong with a decent amount of producers here. Now, if this is your first time checking out the show, the Heat Check, you might be wondering who I am. Who is this person? What is he doing? And why should I be listening to him? Well, my name is Desmond A. I'm a music producer, been producing music for over 12 years now. Have music on different networks, E-Television, Sci-Fi Channel, Bravo, all over the place, and also work with very talented music producers, music artists, but music producers and engineers as well out here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So I've done a few things, seen a few things, heard a few things, sold beats, recorded, mixed, done just about everything in the music production realm except mastering. I could try mastering, but done just about everything that you can think of. So that's what qualifies me to go ahead and give my feedback here. All right, in the chat, we got 72K. Shout out to the chat. You came right on time, man. 72K, shout out to you in the chat. And shout out to everyone who's going to be showing up in the chat here today. So once again, if this is your first time here, you might want to know the format. So here at the Heat Check, the free submissions close at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that point, you can go ahead and purchase a VIP Skip the Line pass. You're going to see that up top here. See that little scroll thing up here? VIP Skip the Line pass. You just go to DesmondASounds.com/VIP. Go ahead and pay your $10. I'll get your beat and go ahead and put you at the top of the list. And you can also find that link in the description as well, so you don't get lost or anything like that. Also here, play about 1.5 minutes of your beat, so that way I get a good feel for it. But if you purchase a VIP Skip the Line pass, then I'll play the entire thing. So that's how we go ahead and do it here. All right. And yep, we're gonna be here next Friday as well, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the free submissions open as soon as this stream ends. I go ahead and make a community post on my YouTube channel. That's when you know you are good to go. Yeah, you can go ahead and submit a free beat, then I'll go ahead and get you for next Friday's show. So yes, another thing here, you guys might have seen my Real Spotlight artist stream that I was doing. Honestly, that's just way too much for me to juggle. So figuring out how I can fuse artist submissions into the Heat Check live beat review show. If you're an artist watching this, what I'll do for now is you can purchase a VIP Skip the Line, then I'll play your song, and that's how we'll do that. So if you're an artist, you want to play your song, you can do the VIP Skip the Line pass, but I want this show to be producer focused. But once again, if you want to invest in yourself as an artist, my reviews on the Spotlight, that artist show, I have to say was pretty good. You know, we definitely have some talented artists, but you know, too many different streams. I already got a lot going on, so that's how we're gonna do it. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Pull up FL Studio. As a matter of fact, we actually have a VIP Skip the Line pass as our first submission here. That's right. This producer was serious. He wants his full beat played. He wants to be at the top of the list. He wants everybody. He wants all of us to hear this beat. So he made sure that he went ahead and invested in himself. And this producer's name is Phantom ODE. So we're going to go ahead and start with Phantom ODE's beat. Like I said, play the whole thing. Looks like Phantom ODE beat. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's only 3 minutes. I thought that was longer than 3 minutes. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start with you, Phantom ODE. Let me go ahead and put my headphones on. Here we go. We're good to go, good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic, play this beat, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our first submission of the day. That was a VIP Skip the Line special submission. That was from Phantom ODE with Hunger. So shout out to Phantom ODE, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Phantom ODE, when I was listening to that beat, I definitely got like kind of like my era vibe, my era of hip hop music kind of vibes, you know, that I felt the word I kept thinking about Lupe Fiasco when I heard that beat, that type of style, that era of music. That's really who I was thinking about. The overall beat was good, very good beat. Definitely gonna be more so kind of like a freestyle kind of beat. I could hear somebody like also Dave East on there. I don't really hear somebody really making like a popular song like that on this type of beat, more so like a fan favorite. This is a type of beat that's gonna really pull on the heartstrings of people. As far as constructive feedback, the first thing is that the intro was a little bit busy. We kind of want to build up into having more of a combination of sounds, so that way we're not like overwhelmed. You know, you could possibly even put something like a low pass filter on the beat. Let me see, let me go ahead and give that a try. You know, a lot of people know I kind of do this a lot here, but you know, it's a tried and true trick, just going ahead and adding a low pass filter. So let's just see really quickly here. I'm going to just see the one knob filter. All right, hopefully that doesn't freeze or crash or anything like that. All right, so here we go. So Phantom ODE, we could do something like this. Let me make sure that everything is heard. All right, here we go. We're good to go. Okay, so we can do something like this. Let's start like this. And we would take out the drums. You see what I'm saying? It's like take out the drums while you're doing that low pass filter and kind of do like a reveal, so that way people are really getting pulled into the music. Other than that, other piece of constructive criticism, a piece of advice, there was a certain type of and this is not super bad, but it's a certain type of thinness that was going on. And it's like the something like the low, not like the lower mid-range area it felt kind of thin. It felt like I wanted more body to it. I don't know if possibly you're doing something to the limiter to get things loud. I see that things are really loud here by looking at the waveform. So I'm thinking you might be using some type of real hard limiter that could be scooping out some of the low mids, just because it's like squashing everything and taking out the energy. That could be it, but whatever you're doing to it, let's try to add some body to the low mids. And I really think it's some type of limiter that's preventing it from really breathing the way it needs to breathe. Or you're over EQing something, because this type of beat has a lot of feel, a lot of emotion, and we want to be pulled into that story that the rapper is inevitably going to be putting on this. But yes, shout out to you. Very good beat. Artists are definitely going to love it, especially when they're going through something. This is the type of beat that they're going to put on their AirPods, and man, this beat is going to be easy to sell. Let me tell you that, because that's going to really tug on the heartstrings of recording artists who are going through something. So shout out to you for your first submission. All right, now for your second submission here. Once again, this is a VIP Skip the Line pass. This is Phantom ODE with Upright. All right, since this is a VIP, we're going to play the whole thing here. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, play this beat, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Phantom ODE with Upright. Shout out to you, Phantom ODE, and thank you so much for your submission. Now, Phantom ODE, that beat was interesting because it started off, and then as the beat went on, it got a lot better. But the problem is when we're dealing with these recording artists, especially in the modern age, they want to get straight to the feel, straight to knowing that they can actually create a song to this beat. You know, I've been in situations to where, let me add that. Sorry about that. I've been in situations to where I've been with recording artists. We're going through different type beats, and it's like next, 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 and it's just like, whoa, buddy, slow down. Like, let's at least get a real feel for the music. And the real feel for this beat didn't come till much later, and I just don't feel like an artist is going to be that patient. So one of the things that really threw me off was in the intro was like the drum sounds. Like those drum sounds sounded real off, almost sounded like a poor drum selection. But then later in the beat, you started stacking those drums with other drums, and that made it feel much better. And then later you added in hi-hat, like a standard trap hi-hat sound, and that also threw things off a little bit. But at the same time, your instrumentation was great through the whole process. So, you know, and also I made a note that it had very good bounce. So I had a nice little groove to it. So one thing I want you to do, Phantom, is to like open your DAW again, mute the drums, listen to this beat, just listen to the instruments, and then get lost in the music. Start freestyling, even make up a story. Something, 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 something. I always want to be a something, 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 something. Maybe it's a rags to riches story, and then allow the drums to help complement the story that you're telling with the instrumentation. So then you'll maybe unmute the kick, and then you keep going. Then you listen to the snare. And that snare in the beginning really threw me off. I didn't think this beat was going to be as good as it progressed to be. You definitely pick a different snare and then just listen to the music. What is the music telling you? What is the feel that's happening? And then allow the drums to complement it once again. So I think this beat has a lot of potential. Just work on the drum selection, rework it, and then you're going to be good to go. Another thing I noticed here, Phantom, was when I opened up your waveform, and I think I found the culprit, is your waveform is totally hacked off at the top, which tells me that you're more than likely hitting a limiter, because this is just a straight brick wall. This is just straight cut off. And I also had to lower the volume here and on the previous beat. So let's watch the limiting. You don't have to limit that much, you know. Let's have some breathing room, and of course, me, the engineer, whoever's going to ultimately record to this song is going to have the ability to increase the gain, increase the volume, and get things as loud as they need to be. So you don't have to hit everything super, super loud the way you're doing it. Which is rare, is almost too loud, and it's not really distorting, which tells me once again that this is some type of brick wall limiter that you're using. So just watch the limiting so the beat can breathe a bit more. But good beats. So shout out to you, Phantom ODE. Thank you so much for your submissions. And thank you so much for joining the Heat Check. It is very much appreciated. All right, moving forward, we have Chef P with Look Alike. So shout out to Chef P. Chatted with Chef P a little bit, so shout out to you. I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef P with Lookalikes. Shout out to you, Chef P. And thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Chef P, it's an overall great beat. Played that beat in the studio. Artists are definitely going to rock out with it. They're going to be able to record to it, and they're, of course, going to be able to create a great song to it. Just a couple things. One thing I was hearing in this beat, and I think it's taking a good beat and taking it to the next level, is finding some way to create a bit more contrast here in the breakdown. So everything sounds good. Let me do that. So is there something we can do there to just create more tension? So can we pitch it down an octave so we have more suspense? Can we add an extra sound on there so where we just have a bit more anticipation, like, ooh, what's about to come next? And then when it hits again on this, looks like second verse here, it could create that more of that wow factor, like, ooh, that stank face factor whenever you're in the studio, and then artists really go crazy, like, yo, we got to get on this. So I think we can take what we have and kick it up a notch and really get artists engaged by, in that breakdown, just creating more tension. What can we do to create more tension there? I think it's adding some type of sound there, and also experiment with pitching it down an octave, maybe even try pitching it up an octave, and just see if you could just create that pull that's going to just ultimately give recording artists that stank face where it's an undeniable beat. Other than that, I liked the kick. I think the kick is just a little aggressive. It sounds like you might have used some type of wave shaper on it, but if you could just pull the kick down just a little bit, I think we'll be good to go. Like something like negative 0.4 dB, not too much. It's just gonna have things feel a bit more balanced. But that's pretty much it for that beat, man. You play that beat in the studio, you're gonna get your song recorded that night. So shout out to you, Chef P. All right, moving forward, another submission by Chef P. This one is called Used to This. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Chef P.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chef P with Used to This. Thank you so much for your submission, Chef P. Definitely appreciate that. All right, now for that beat, definitely a good beat. Almost feels like we're getting in the beat battle territory, but I can hear an artist like I could hear an artist like Huncho on this beat. So if you're able to DM Huncho or know somebody who knows Huncho, I could definitely hear Huncho on that beat. Um, Other than that, like I said again, it almost feels like we're getting in the beat battle territory. So a recording artist may not know like where the hook is or anything like that, but they can get off a good freestyle braggadocious song, and I think like an engineer will be able to piece things together to create a hook, to create little breakdowns and things like that. One other thing is like when we're getting into the breakdown again, that this breakdown again here, I'm getting a kind of a similar feel as the other beat. So let me play this section here. So it's like we're going from here. I just feel like there's one more element we can add in here. There's something that can create more tension to really pull us into that when things come back in. So as of now is good. I think an artist is gonna have a nice time vibing out to that breakdown section. I feel like there's like one more thing we could do to that breakdown section to just create more anticipation. Is it a quick little silence part? Is it an additional synth sound on there? Is it pitching it down? So then we're anticipating what's gonna come next. There's something that can be done in that like little second breakdown part right there that can really just, that wow factor in the studio that makes everybody just permanent stank face. So I just feel like there's one little thing there, but all in all, good beat, man. Sounds good. You're gonna be able to rock that beat out in the studio. So shout out to you, Chef P. Thank you so much for your submission. It is definitely appreciated. All right, moving forward. Next submission of the night, we have Neptune Blue with Infusion. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Neptune Blue with Infusion. Thank you so much for your submission this week, Neptune Blue. So Neptune Blue, that beat was definitely good. Great drums, great instruments. So I'm hearing. So I know that you're making beats on your laptop, so you're using a laptop speaker, so you can't hear the sub. But what I could hear of what you have there sounds like your 808 is definitely in key. You're able to hear the key of the 808 due to the fact that it has those harmonics in there that you can hear on your laptop speakers. Of course, whenever you're able to, definitely want you to get those headphones so we can hear the low end of the beat is still scooped out, cut off, hacked off. Sounds like right around maybe like sounds like it's around 200 hertz. It's like just like a slope that's just scooping everything out. I'm not sure what could be done because the actual composition of this beat is good. It's just that somebody's going to want to hear and feel the whole thing. So, hopefully we're able to get some headphones this year so you can hear the low end because the beat is good. The beat is good, but if we want to play it for artists, then they're going to want to hear the subs and the bass of the actual beat. Also, whenever we was getting into the second part of the beat, I felt like once again we're getting into like beat battle territory where we're using a lot of little stutter effects to really impress people. It could work, but if you're gonna really put this in the format for a recording artist, you really don't need all those little stutters there. It can kind of throw them off a bit. What you had going initially was good as far as the drum bounce. You didn't need like sound like you're using like maybe Effectrix or something like that. You don't necessarily have to do that there if you're gonna put it for specifically a recording artist. But yeah, shout out to you, Neptune Blue. Oh, also another point of feedback I had down here for you is that triangle sound you had was a bit too loud. So let's go ahead and pull that triangle sound down a bit so that way it's more balanced with the rest of the instruments. Triangle sounds I was gonna say they tend not to be too loud. Like if you listen to like Shawty Red's production on the classic album TM101 by Young Jeezy, there's Shawty Red's triangle sound is not really too loud, so don't poke out too much. Not that you have to copy Shawty Red, but just pull down that triangle sound. It's just a bit loud. That ding sound, once again, the human ear reacts to high frequencies pretty sensitively, so you don't have to have it all the way out there. Just pull it down like, I think you can pull it down like maybe a dB, negative 1 point. No, I just say -1 dB. You should be good. All right. Shout out to you. All right. Moving forward, we have Neptune Blue with Funky Jukin. All right. So jukin, and we getting into some Memphis sounds. Let's see what we got going on here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Neptune Blue with Funky Jukin. So I'm going to mute my mic, play this beat, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Neptune Blue with Funky Jukin. Shout out to you, Neptune Blue. Thank you so much for your submission right here on the Heat Check. Now, Neptune Blue, for that beat, I assumed, since it's called Funky Jukin, that it's supposed to be a song for, we're doing like Memphis Jukin and, doing that dance that we see a lot of, that Memphis Jukin, like, what's my man's name? The rapper who always The rapper who's always dancing, Dennis, not Duke Dennis. What is that? That's gonna bother me. What's his name? Dennis. You guys in the chat can help me out. Let's see. Something Dennis. It's rapper Dennis. Isn't it Dennis? Let's see what's. No, not rapper Dennis. I'm gonna remember. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this. It's gonna. He did that song "Crunk Ain't Dead." Duke Deuce. I said Dennis. I was thinking of Duke Dennis. Duke Deuce. I had to get that name. So yes. Sorry about that, guys. So yes, like a rapper who does Memphis juking like Duke Deuce in his videos. That's what I was assuming. So if that's what you're aiming for, you might want to add that the yeah ho. You can have that sample in there, or you could add just other little culturally relevant little vocal samples in there. But I think that yeah ho will definitely work just to get people in the mood. And you could possibly even get like, if you're gonna put like a type beat video up there for YouTube, you can get like a video of people doing the jukin dance, and then put your BeatStars link so people can get that. People want songs for the summer and things like that, and if you have a song where people are dancing and stuff like that, then it's gonna definitely help you stand out. So you could do that. Hopefully that's what you meant by funky jukin in that title. Also, I think those 808s were in key. There was a part where they start going low. Check on that. I think one of those 808s, they're probably in key, but check one of those 808s. Let me play it. Let me make sure also I'm not tripping. Let's see. All right. Let me play it real quick. What the? Am I tripping? Where's the bass on this? There we go. Good. Sound like one of those might. I think it'll pass. It not being totally in key, but it's fine. It sounds like it could be off like a semitone, but it'll be fine. That's not something that's like somebody's not gonna not make a song to it because of that. So you're fine. But if you can check and see, that'll definitely help. But yeah, shout out to you, Neptune Blue. Once again, please try to get your listening device fixed so you can get the lower information. Like I could hear like the kick is cut off, it's hacked off, but I could hear the sub bass. So it's definitely something going on in your listening environment. But yeah, man, Neptune Blue, if you can get that together and put a YouTube type beat video up there, that could actually turn into something. So not too many people are, specifically going to be doing juking. So please do that. Put a type beat video up there, post it on YouTube, put some good keywords on there. Might put Duke Deuce or something like that on there. And hey, DM Duke Deuce. You never know. He might pop up on it. So shout out to you, Neptune Blue. Thank you so much for your submission. And thank you for submitting on the heat check once again. It is greatly appreciated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next beat of the day, we have Mr. Messenger 0121. Looks like this one is really untitled, but I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Messenger 0121 with, we're just going to call that one Untitled. So shout out to you, Mr. Messenger. Now, Mr. Messenger, that beat was definitely giving me like Earl Sweatshirt vibes. I was getting Earl Sweatshirt vibes, early Tyler the Creator, Odd Future vibes, coming that kind of like that Adult Swim era of music that we had in like the 2000s, was like the 2010s, I believe, that range. So this beat definitely has potential. One of the main things that definitely stood out on this was the bass. The 808 was quiet and kind of volume wise was inconsistent, so we want to get that to a nice solid point. And then you went from the 808 to some type of Moog bass, kind of giving me like a West Coast feel. I feel like we can go ahead and get rid of that funky Moog bass that you have. Just mute that out and then go ahead and just keep the 808s going. Also make sure the 808s are in key. I should have listened more sharply to that. Let me just listen to that really quickly. Let's do this. Yeah, the 808s are off a little bit, but it's really like the overall feel of the 808s. I even want the bass of the 808s to just be mixed better. It's kind of even difficult for me to make an assessment on those 808s. The drums are good. I like the little instruments you got going there, but it's like really that bass part is throwing things off. But yeah, once you get that together, the 808s together, get the mix of the bass together, you're gonna be good to go. And you can market this beat as like a early Odd Future type beat on YouTube if you want to get this out there, potentially find recording artists, and I think that will catch people. So shout out to you, Mr. Messenger 0121. All right. Now, before we get to Mr. Messenger's second submission, guys, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get free FL Studio Patcher plugins, free loops, free guides. I got a guide on Pro Tools shortcuts that I used in some very tight situations. You're going to need those shortcuts for Pro Tools, especially you're going to be recording in real studios. Got a guide on mixing beats, sample chopping. All of those are free. So just go to DesmondASounds.com. Got free Afrobeat guitar loop pack that you guys can get as well. Then I also have my golden Afrobeat guitar loop pack that is very, very fire. That one is a paid one. It's on sale. You're going to see a coupon code. Just go to DesmondASounds.com. Check it out, listen to it, and if you like it, go ahead and purchase it. But yeah, man, my golden Afrobeat loop pack, I wouldn't be surprised if, let's just say I wouldn't be surprised, because that is some fire, real guitar playing. So guys can sleep it on it if you want. Oh, also, sorry guys, I also, for all the FL Studio users, I just released a new FL Studio Patcher plugin called Solar Tilt. So this is a tilt EQ. It's going to make it really easy for you guys to mix quickly. So let me go ahead and open up Solar Tilt EQ. Super easy to mix. So if you have a sound, you want to make a sound darker, you go ahead and pull this down here. You see this is more dark. You want to make it sound lighter, pull this over here, make the sound more light, and then you can tighten up the tone. So that way you don't have to fumble around with like the parametric EQ or anything like that whenever you're in FL Studio. Just pull up the Solar Tilt EQ, make those changes, fly through your beat without having, all those clashing sounds. Get you some good separation with that. Once again, everything DesmondASounds.com. Go there, more great stuff to come. All right, Mr. Messenger, your second submission of the night. This one is once again Untitled. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic, play this beat, then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen together.
Music up! Everybody freeze. Everybody down on the ground.
This should be played at high volume.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Messenger 0121 with Untitled 2. I'm just going to call that one Untitled 2. So shout out to you, Mr. Messenger, and thank you so much for your submission right here on the Heat Check. Now, Mr. Messenger, that beat definitely has potential as well. Let me say this first, that I want the intro to be a bit shorter. I want us to get to the point much quicker. Want us to get to that drop, let us get to the one quicker, just because my expectations were a bit all over the place, and then it wasn't until the actual kick hit that I knew that I was going to vibe out to this beat. And once again, not every recording artist has as much patience as me, and people who record artists, people say that recording engineers and stuff like that, I don't know if I should wear the title of recording engineer, but they say that we have a ton of patience, an unbelievably high amount of patience. So, you know, and artists don't. Maybe that's why it makes such a good marriage. But yes, we want to get to the point much quicker. We want us to get to the one so we can get the point of the beat. I like this beat. I really feel like this is going to be aimed towards either a newer artist who wants that nostalgic feel, that LL Cool J, Cannabis, that kind of era of music. It definitely had that nod factor. One thing that really was standing out as a point of critique would be to that bass. I wasn't able to feel the bass. I was able to hear some of it, like some of the upper mids, some of those harmonics in there. I was able to hear some of the bass, but I couldn't feel it. It's almost like there was a point in the mid range down to the bass, down to the sub bass, where it's just like it was faded off. I can't hear the bass for some reason. I don't know if your sound got pulled down. I don't know what's happening, but I can't feel the bass. I could hear it a little bit, but I couldn't feel the body of the bass. So kind of check that out in your DAW, see where your bass sound is on the slider. If you need to slide it up just so you can hear more of the bass, definitely do that. But something was happening there, and it could also be something with your listening device. So if you don't have headphones, make sure you get some headphones. I've been using these for years, either Sony MDR 7506, I believe. Let's see. Yes, Sony MDR 7506. You can get these. I've been using them for years. I stand by them. You can see a link in my description to get them. Have like a link for, it says like my studio gear. Click on that. You'll find those headphones in there, I believe, and then you can check those out. But yeah, it's a good beat, but this is hip hop, especially that nod factor hip hop. With the head banging, we need that bass, right? So check that out. Check out the intro, and you'll be all good to go. But shout out to you, Mr. Messenger. Definitely got potential. Please continue to submit right here to the Heat Check. All right, What's going on? We have Nep Jennings in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Heat Check. Nep Jennings is in the building. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, we have JVN World with 2025-7. All right, shout out to you, JVN World. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen to JVN World. My mic all over the place. All right, sorry. I moved around. Hopefully you guys have been able to hear me clearly. I've been moving around my microphone. All right, here we go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with 2025-7. All right. Shout out to you, JVN World. And thank you so much for submitting on the Heat Check. JVN World. One thing I feel like, for one, that you named it this because you're submitting this to the Heat Check, so you may not have actually named this, but just a little tip that if you are sending your beats out there to recording artists, and this is not just for you, JVM World, we've had other people, definitely take a time to just think of a name of your beat. I've had multiple songs made, recording artists, even recently a songwriter has been taking the title of my beat and building a song around it. So, just think of a word. It's like this one, I might call this one Red Light, because when I hear this beat, the I kind of have that Tokyo drift, like somebody's driving down a Lambo. It's dark at night, the lights are hitting the car, so I'll call this one like Red Light or Speeding, something like that. Whatever word hits your brain when you hear your beat, or also if you're thinking about a hook, just think of a word, one word or two words or three words that represent how you feel, or what would fit there, because people build songs off of the title of your beat. But yes, now to your feedback. So I like the drum bounce. There's one thing that was happening in the little ARP sound that you have going on, and it sounded like this might be doing too much. If you're not familiar with this, it's fine. It's like this might be doing too much. I feel like I wanted to use a dynamic EQ to control like the lower mids of that sound, just to control it. If you don't know, if you don't want to do all that, you don't have to use a dynamic EQ. One thing you could do is just in your DAW, when you're listening to that ARP sound, I would just listen to around the mid range. Listen around, let's say just off the top of my head, I believe like maybe around 300 hertz, 400 hertz. Listen and see if you could just pull down just a little bit with an EQ. Then you should be good to go. That should open up a bit more sonic space. I really want to use a dynamic EQ, but that's too much. I don't want you guys doing too much. The artist needs to record a real song to it. It needs to be sent to a studio, mixed and mastered. So don't want you guys overthinking this stuff. So just using a regular EQ. If you're unfamiliar with a dynamic EQ, do that. I just want a bit more control there. It's just, you know, it felt like it swelled up a little bit. So hopefully that can help you out. But other than that, this beat, when I hear this beat, I think of a beat for a new independent recording artist who's trying to create their own sound. So I feel like this beat, it may not be the type of beat to just email off to someone and say, hey, you know, I got beats, make a song to this. This feels more so like, hey, bro, come to the studio this Saturday. Let's see if we can make some songs. This felt like that type of beat. Like you have your homeboy, you have an artist that you'd have met at an open mic or wherever, or maybe you guys are even using Zoom to collab with each other. Whatever you're using, this is a type of beat where I feel like you have to direct the artist. Like, yeah, and this is where the hook comes in, and I want the hook to be like this. So this is not really like a one and done email to someone type of beat. This is a let's craft your sound as a recording artist type of beat, which in my opinion, especially in the age of AI, especially in the age of super perfect stuff that's coming down the pipeline, I would definitely say that that's a good thing. So please work with the recording artist and you guys can really start to make something and tailor things together with the recording artist. But shout out to you, JVN World. Thank you so much for your submission. And please continue to submit here on the Heat Check. All right, moving forward, we have JVN World once again. Second submission of the night. This one is called 2025-5. So let's just call this one Untitled 2. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with 2025, aka Untitled 2. Thank you so much for your submission, JVN World. Thank you for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, JVN World, that beat, I like the drums, but the instruments were all wrong. I just want to go into your DAW and then just mute all the instruments. I didn't like that little string part. I didn't like the melody of the bells. I just want to keep the drums, mute the other instruments, and create something else. I feel like we can use something with bells, but let's just do something else. Let's play some minor chords, play some diminished chords. Let's or use a loop. Let's try something different, but I just was not feeling those instruments, Let's try something else on that one, man. So you can keep the beat, keep the drums, mute the instruments, and try something else. So that's what we're going to do for that one, JVM World. But thank you so much for your beat. Thank you so much for submitting. Please continue to submit right here on the Heat Check. A lot of great things coming down the pipeline here on the Heat Check, my channel, everything like that. So guys, make sure you are locked in 2026. We are taking off. All right, moving forward, we have Millie Beats with No Love. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you're bad.
Gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with No Love. Thank you so much for your submission, Millie Beats. It is definitely appreciated. Now, Millie Beats, I definitely hear improvements. You've been submitting here on the Heat Check for quite a while, and I hear that you're heeding the advice. You're definitely getting better and better as a producer, man. And I definitely I'm happy for you. I can hear the improvements. As a matter of fact, most people would not know that beat was made in FL Studio Mobile. They just wouldn't be able to tell. So that's definitely a good thing. Not to say that FL Studio Mobile isn't good, but it has its limitations when it comes to sound. And by this, I wouldn't know that you had limitations in sound if you played this for me in the studio. I wouldn't know. So shout out to you, Millie Beats. Definitely improving. Now, also I hear that you got your bass in key as well. Like we spoke about, I believe last week, you can get your Moog bass in key, but there was challenges with the 808. So I see you kind of had like a sub bass going on. So we're playing kind of in the middle between the two. So that's definitely pretty cool. As far as points of feedback, I felt like this was, really a laid back, chill beat. Every time I listen to your beats, I usually start rapping like YG. But I still felt like this could have been kicked up like maybe by one BPM, 1 or 2 BPMs. I want to say like 2 BPMs, just to give a slightly more bounce. I know this is a laid back kind of like a chill driving through the city at night. I think like kicking up the tempo up by 2 BPMs, I think would help it just give it a little more bounce, a little more groove to it. We don't want it to be too slow. I think that would definitely help. Also that wah guitar that you have, it's not bad. It feels like, to me, it throws me off a little bit musically. So definitely work with your pitch knob, or work with the wherever you have set in the piano roll, and let's just try to get that wah guitar. Just try to get a slightly more in tune musically with the rest of the beat. This is a laid back hip hop song. It doesn't have to be totally musically pretty, but just try. Just listen back, play it. Listen back, play it. When you talk about little hits, you can't really just play it back and forth. Kind of give yourself some time, then let the beat play, then give yourself some time, play it back, and then keep doing that until you get that wah sound right there, dialed in more in key, and it's going to sound a lot better musically. You're going to really pull people in. But yeah, shout out to you, Millie Beats. That was pretty much it for this week. But shout out to you, man. Keep growing, keep going. It is definitely, I'm definitely appreciative to hear your growth. So shout out to you. All right, and it looks like you got another submission of the night. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is Millie Beats with Midas. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right.
God damn, Millie, you're bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Midas V2. Shout out to you, Millie Beats. And thank you so much for your submission. Now, Millie Beats, once again, I'm hearing your mix is improving. I'm hearing things sound musically together. That beat as well, man. You definitely growing, definitely improving week after week. One thing that stood out to me in that beat, that Moog bass that you have going on there, if there's a way for you to fatten it up, do you have some type of chorus effect in FL Studio Mobile that you can add to the beat, add to the bass? This is kind of like a chorus effect that I really like here. Tau chorus. I don't know if there's an option in FL Studio Mobile for this. Let me see if I can pull a Moog bass out of my my sound library here really quickly so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Oh, let me pull up, turn on the audio. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. So let's put, so like this, let's play this Moog bass. So I'm gonna play it without it, like. Yeah, I'm using my QWERTY keyboard, so forgive me. My other keyboard over there. Okay, But if I add a chorus to it, see, it's much fatter. This one has a chorus and a widener. This is free, so you guys can look this up if you like the way it sounds. Tal Chorus LX. See how much wider it is instead of this? One dimensional. Now, really good chorus effect. Hopefully there's something similar to this in FL Studio Mobile, and I think it'll really set off your Moog bass. So hopefully there's something in FL Studio Mobile that can emulate that sound, because as you can hear, it makes a world of difference, especially on your style of West Coast beats. Maybe FL Studio Mobile allows, I won't say allows VSTs, that wouldn't make sense. But if you can find like a chorus that emulates this, that'll help out. And if you're able to use a laptop, Tal Chorus LX is free, and it's gonna help you on your Moog bass. So shout out to you. All right, let's go ahead and close that. All right, get back to the submissions here. Okay, so other than that, Millie Beats, another point of feedback on that specific beat is you had that little wah guitar there. The watch the feedback on your delay on that, because it kind of did a little too much. It's like we don't want it to kind of linger too much. It can kind of throw off the groove of the beat. So if you can just then let it stop instead of it did a little bit too much on the feedback side. So however you have it, maybe if that's already baked into the sound, you know, mess around with the release knob so it's not, doesn't ring out too much. But if it's just the effect in FL Studio Mobile, then just watch the feedback. That's gonna solve that issue. But yeah, man, keep going, Millie Beats. Definitely improving, man. You'll have your YG placement in no time, man. So shout out to you. Keep grinding and keep submitting. All right, moving forward, we have 7-2K with Other Side. All right, I believe we have 7-2K in the chat. Hopefully he's still here with us. Might have checked out for a second. Maybe he'll just catch us on the playback. It is Friday night after the new year. You guys are out there turning up. Make sure you guys are safe out there. But let me go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. All right, so let's take a listen.
7-2K on the track.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was 7-2K with Other Side. Shout out to you, 7-2K, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, 7-2K, Couple things here. Now, the first thing that stood out to me on that beat, first of all, I like your sounds. Like the actual drum sounds sound nice and like thick. I think you either are using some type of drum machine or you've got those drum sounds from someone who possibly got them from some type of analog gear, or just really good at putting sounds together. So wherever you got those drum sounds, shout out to them, because I can hear the texture. Kind of takes me back. But other than that, one thing that stood out to me on that beat immediately was the swing of the drums. I felt like you were going for like a type of Knots type of drum swing. Everybody who don't know, Knots, the producer from VA, did stuff with like Busta Rhymes. He has this real unique drum swing, and that's kind of the feel that I felt like you were going for with that particular drum swing. But I felt like everything had the swing setting turned up, so it made the bounce a little bit awkward. One thing that I would suggest doing is having some type of constant when you're doing those type of real, how can I say, exaggerated drum swing. Like for you guys who don't know, like on the MPC, you can use the drum swing setting to kind of have this certain type of groove. If you use FL Studio, you'll know this knob here. If you've ever messed with the main swing knob here, that's the kind of sound that you get. So like I was saying, you want to have some type of constant. So if I can get for you whenever you get back in your DAW or your drum machine, is to leave the kick at the standard drum swing percentage and then just have the snare and or the hi-hats with the swing setting turned up, and tell me what you hear. Tell me what kind of feel that you get while you have like the kick straight on and the hi-hats or snare with the exaggerated swing setting, and see what kind of groove you get whenever you do that. I think that's going to be much more cohesive since we'll have like a drum beat going. I'm tempted to show what I mean now here really quickly. Let me go ahead and just do this here now, since we're somewhat at the end of the show. Okay, so let me get a kick here. Okay, I'll just have a New York kick. All right. Let me just leave it as is. Okay, so we have like, let's say 1. Okay, so I have my kicks going, and then let's have a hi-hat pattern. Okay, I'll just use this as a hi-hat. All right. We have one hi-hat, another hi-hat. Mess with the velocity here. Give me a nice little swing here. Yeah, I won't do too much. Okay, so let's do that. Just real quick. Okay, and then let's add a snare here for this example. Okay. Okay, so now we have a groove going. So what I was hearing is real exaggerated drum swing like this. Oh, I have it on, I don't have it on the regular mode. So I'll just do it here really quickly. So everything was more exaggerated like this, and it kind of threw off the groove. It wasn't like that much. It was more exaggerated. There we go. So it had a real exaggerated swing to it. That wasn't quite on point to what you were doing, but I just want to make a quick example here. So now I'm going to go ahead and leave the kick constant and then allow the swing to be on the hi-hat and a little bit on the snare. Here, that's kind of awkward, but in a good way. It's strange. You see, we're kind of getting into that knots territory with the even, you know, as a producer on YouTube, Epic the Don, he and some of his beats, he has that almost off swing, but it's on in a good way. You know, it's off, but it's on in a good way, and it's real creative. But I'm leaving the kick as a constant, so that way the ear and the body knows how to move. So it's you know, it's a pretty cool trick, pretty cool drum swing to do as a producer. I definitely should give it a try more. Yeah, you know, appreciate you for submitting that, because I could definitely experiment with that exaggerated knots. And if for you guys who don't know, that's NOTTZ style drum swing. All right, so shout out to you 72K with your submission. Other side, that just gave me the opportunity to do a quick little tutorial on drum swing, especially for some of the newer producers, some of the younger producers who may not have grown up in that era of working with a drum machine, or may never have even heard of a producer like Knots. So, all right, moving forward. Next submission of the day by 72K. This one is called Nigeria Rain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then go ahead and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Sorry about that. I jumped the gun because I did that drum swing thing. Sorry. I apologize for that, 72K. Had another point on your first beat. The other point I had on the your first beat, 72K, was you had a nice feel with the main instrumentation, like the piano sound that you had, and then when the instrument switched up, it got a little too pretty, to the point that my mood didn't really know how to take it. It's like, okay, are we going into a pretty direction? Like, what exactly is happening here? Are we getting like a kind of Kendrick type of thing where you're taking me from one state and you're trying to pull me into a different state? What exactly is going on there? And then that main darker piano sound came back in, so I was a little bit confused vibe wise, feel wise. So I really feel like for that beat, you can keep that main darker piano sound and maybe even experiment with adding other sounds on top of it. Let me take a listen here to it really quickly one more time. Yeah, you can even add like a darker piano on there, a lower piano, something to just maintain that vibe, because that switch up to the happier feel was just a little too much. It's like, what's happening here? It's almost like, watching a horror movie, and then it starts to get funny, then you start laughing, and then it turns back into a real grim horror movie. It's like, okay, I was in this vibe, and then I'm in this vibe. Like, how exactly am I supposed to take this energy? Which direction am I going in? So, that's pretty much that. So I would stick with that main piano vibe for that other side beat. All right, so getting back on track here, 72K. Let's go ahead and play this song. Play this beat. This one's called Nigeria Reigns. I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was 72K with Nigeria Reigns. Shout out to you. As a matter of fact, man, I appreciate that. I could hear some of the sounds from my loop packs, and I was just shouting out my loop packs, man. So I definitely appreciate you incorporating that into your music production. It definitely feels good to hear other producers utilizing those sounds. So for that particular beat, one of the main things that stood out to the beat on that beat was really that 808. It felt like the 808 was just, the 808 didn't really change. It didn't change with the melody. It was really just one note. If we're going to get in that Afrobeat lane, you want to kind of work with, having the 808 boom, 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 boom. Kind of messing with the note of the 808 instead of like keeping it straight on, because that change of the bass, is going to make people want to move and groove. Also, I was hearing that darker piano going at the same time with that beat. And it's like the beat wanted a focal point. My ears didn't quite know if it should go to the piano sound or should it go to that guitar loop sound that it had going on. So it was kind of a bit of a musical fight. Like, who's gonna win? Which instrument is gonna be the star of this beat? Is it the guitar part? Is it piano part? Listening, I kind of feel like musically you're musically in a space where you do like those moodier hip hop vibes that have those darker pianos. So that the guitar part, it kind of felt like, which part should I focus on? So since I do feel like you do more so that hip hop type of vibe, I would maybe try chopping up the guitar part, possibly muting the guitar part, and also just like whenever you're playing the beat back, listen, sing to it. Sometimes I even think of like music videos in my head, and okay, and that kind of helps me connect with the music and then start to make different decisions. So I'll start to hear where the bass goes, doom, 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 just by not being so much in the beat creator position, putting myself in the songwriter position, putting myself in the recording artist position. If I was a recording artist and I'm driving in my car, you know, how would I feel? What would I want to hear? Would I want that part? Should I mute it out? Should I use that bass or should I try a different bass? And to not overthink things, I like to put myself in that position because I know that the vocalist is going to be the star of the song. Then everything else is going to wrap around it to help that artist tell their story. And that's just going to be a good framework to help you with sound selection and what to mute and what not to mute, and doing drops and, you know, taking out the 808 for a second, taking out the kick for a second to create tension. So yes, I like to say that that's something I figured out on my own, but that's something I figured out working with a couple of recording artists, one in particular, this recording artist. So as producers, sometimes we get caught in those, you know, 4-bar loops or 8-bar loop traps where we just make a whole bunch of 4-bar loops or 8-bar loops and we save them. We never finish our beats. But this particular artist was like, hey man, I like that 8-bar loop. Let's structure it into a song. Come on, I'm ready to record. So I had to push myself to learn how to get from that 4-bar loop or 8-bar loop and then lay out an entire song or just an entire framework of a beat relatively quickly because, you know, somebody else was there. So that's another way I was able to quickly look at my screen and my DAW and figure out, okay, this is the intro. This is the hook. This is the verse part. This is the second hook. Okay, I'm going to do a quick drop right here. So pressuring yourself and putting yourself in the artist position is definitely going to help you out. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you so much for your submission. Thank you so much. You are welcome, Chef P. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hey, Stacker Sniper. The free submissions are closed. Because this show is a weekly show, it's structured. Also, the producers come back and watch the playback. So the free submissions are closed just so we have structure. So, yes. So, yes, that helps the show flow. So this is not a free-for-all. Just have everybody submitting all over the place. Here consistently, week after week. In order to do that, we have to have a system for myself and for the producers here, or I'll show up inconsistently. Some weeks I'll show up, some weeks I won't. Some weeks I'll show up, some weeks I won't. But I am here every week. Yeah, no problem. Hey, Stacker, appreciate that. All right, thank you so much, Chef P. Thank you so much. AD Mechanics LLC. Shout out to you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is another heat check. All right. Yeah, I did like the mix, Chef P. I just if you heard a certain part of my review, I did mention the kick on one of those beats was a little bit exaggerated. Oh, Neptune Blue. What's going on, Neptune Blue? Neptune Blue, you got a whole different, you got a lot of, do you have a lot of different profiles? Some of you guys show up, it'd say like Darnell Jones or Darnell Smith, and they'd be like, oh, this is Lil So-and-so. And I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all got a bunch of screen names. What y'all doing out there, man? But shout out to you, Neptune Blue. But yeah, sorry, Chef P. Like I was saying in one of the beat submissions, the kick was a little bit exaggerated. If you could just pull it down a little bit. Let me see really quickly here since you're here. I'll just I believe it was the second one. Let's see. I believe it was the second one. Was it? Was the second one? No, that sounds fine. Was it the second one? You can probably had a kick in here. There it is. Yeah, man, that's fine, Chef P. Your beats are fine. That mix is fine. Your beats are fine. Oh, okay. I got you, Neptune. I got you, Neptune. Yeah, you gotta, separate if you got multiple business out there. You guys are out there grinding. But yeah, Chef P mix is fine. Just a little tweak. That's just, if I play that beat on the big speakers in the studio, it's gonna be perfectly fine. Yeah. Yes, sir. You are welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another week, another heat check. It is 2026. A lot of big things, man. I'm so excited. It's hard to hide the smile on my face, man. So shout out to everybody who's been here since day one. I started this in 2025. I believe it was May 2025. I was nervous. First few episodes, I was nervous. Had to stand up, but didn't know how people was going to take to it. But then, now I look forward to doing this show. So, yes. It's not always easy showing up, but I am here for you guys, and you guys make it well worth it. You guys make it well worth it. Yes, Happy New Year's, guys. And guys, please network with each other. You guys should see the Discord link in the description as well. So join the Discord. Y'all DM each other. Promote yourself in the it's getting late. Sorry, guys. Promote yourself in the comment section after the stream ends, in case artist wants to check you out. But yeah, I appreciate you. Neptune Blue. I appreciate everybody, man. Just going up in 2026, guys. So this is just the beginning. I say 2025, that was the starting point. That's when I'm planting the seeds. In 2026, this is the time of expansion. That's the time when, the plane just starts to soar. So yes, another great show, guys. I'm going to go ahead and open up the form and make the free submissions open for next Friday's show. So just be on the lookout for my YouTube community post coming in 5 to 7 minutes, and then go ahead and submit for next Friday's show. All right, guys, once again, have a happy new year. Thank you so much for checking out the Heat Check Live Beat Review Show, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.